The Bexar County Sheriff, Javier Salazar, recently announced that there was going to be a criminal investigation into the parties responsible for luring the 50 migrants away from Texas to Florida and then flying them to Martha's Vineyard. Now, in this next clip in which Salazar announces the criminal investigation, he doesn't announce any names, but those people in Texas and Ron DeSantis are in deep trouble.
We are opening up a case with an investigation with regard to the suspected activities involving the 48 migrants from Venezuela that, as we understand it at this point, the facts of the case at this point, are that on Wednesday, September 14th, here in Bexar County in the city of San Antonio, our understanding is that a Venezuelan migrant was paid what we would call a bird dog fee to recruit approximately 50 migrants from the area around a migrant resource center on San Pedro here in San Antonio. As we understand it, 48 migrants were lured, I will use the word lured, under false pretenses into staying at a hotel for a couple of days. They were taken by airplane. At a certain point, they were shuttled to an airplane where they were flown to Florida and then eventually flown to Martha's Vineyard, again, under false pretenses is the information that we have, that they were promised work, they were promised the solution to several of their problems. They were taken to Martha's Vineyard from what we can gather for little more than a photo op, video op, and then they were unceremoniously stranded in Martha's Vineyard. What infuriates me the most about this case is that here we have 48 people that are already on hard times, right? They are here legally in our country at that point. They have every right to be where they are. And I believe that they were preyed upon. Somebody came from out of state, preyed upon these people, lured them with promises of a better life, which is what they were absolutely looking for, with the knowledge that they were going to cling to whatever hope they could be offered for a better life, to just be exploited and hoodwinked into making this trip to Florida and then onward to Martha's Vineyard for what I believe to be nothing more than political posturing to make a point.
Now, as Javier Salazar, the Bexar County Sheriff, was making that announcement, Ron DeSantis was on Sean Hannity. And here's a little tip. If you see a Republican on Sean Hannity defending himself, it usually means he's in a lot of trouble.
They were fed, they were showered, they were offered haircuts and any other services that they were needed, correct?
Yeah, not only that, they all signed consent forms to go. And then the vendor that is doing this for Florida provided them with a packet that had a map of Martha's Vineyard. It had the numbers for different services on Martha's Vineyard. And then it had numbers for the overall agencies in Massachusetts that handle things involving immigration and refugees. So it was clearly voluntary, and all the other nonsense you're hearing is just not true.
Ron DeSantis, in that interview, seemed nervous to me, which is interesting because there's a lot of talk about Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott threatening to send more migrants to blue cities around the country. But with an investigation unfolding before their very eyes, it's going to be curious to see whether or not these two sociopaths slow down on the, whole using people as political pawns. Another interesting thing about this makes the two Republican frontrunners for the 2024 presidential election, Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, both of them are now under criminal investigation. So, Republicans, good job.